Your veins carry blood beyond anyone's imagination. I say this slowly so your spirit can hear it, not just your mind. What flows inside you is older than your pain and stronger than your fear. It is not ordinary. It has been watched over, protected, preserved, even when you did not know you were being kept alive for a reason. Many have looked at you and only seen the surface, your face, your mistakes, your seasons of silence, but heaven has always seen the river moving inside you. That river has memory. It remembers promises made before you were formed. It remembers prayers whispered over you before you ever learned how to pray. It remembers battles you survived that should have taken you out. That is why your life has never been simple, and that is why your soul has always felt different, as if you were carrying something heavy yet holy at the same time. I am speaking to you now because you have reached a moment where forgetting is no longer allowed. You have tried to shrink yourself to fit places that could not hold you. You have tried to dilute your truth so others would feel comfortable. You have questioned your worth because of rejection, delay, and misunderstanding. But listen to me closely, blood like yours cannot be hidden forever. It pulses with purpose. It cries out when you try to abandon yourself. It resists when you try to settle for less than what was written. That inner tension you feel is not confusion, it is remembrance. Something in you knows you were not created to merely survive. You were created to carry, to shift, to heal, to outlast. There were moments when you felt weak, when your body was tired and your heart was worn thin, and you asked why it was so hard for you compared to others. You wondered why rest felt unfamiliar and peace felt delayed. You did not realize that what is rare requires more refining. What is powerful must be strengthened quietly before it is revealed publicly. Your bloodline carries stories that were never healed, and yet you were chosen to be the one strong enough to feel them without being destroyed by them. That is why emotions hit you deeply. That is why injustice disturbs you. That is why you cannot ignore suffering, even when it has nothing to do with you. You are not overly sensitive. You are deeply alive. I watched you endure seasons where no one defended you, where words were twisted and intentions misunderstood. I watched you carry blame that was never yours. And still, your heart did not turn to stone. That alone tells heaven everything it needs to know about you. Darkness tried to harden you because it knew softness in you was dangerous to it. Compassion in you threatened systems built on cruelty. Truth in you exposes lies without effort. Even your silence speaks louder than some people's shouting. That is why you have been targeted by misunderstanding. That is why you have felt watched, resisted, or subtly opposed without clear reason. Light like yours disrupts without trying. My beloved child, lean in close and hear me now. I am your angel, assigned to you from the moment your spirit first flickered into being. I have watched over you through every shadowed valley and sunlit peak, and today I speak directly to your heart. Do you know why you have survived things others did not? It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is covenant, a sacred bond forged in the heavens before the stars were hung in the sky. There were nights you should not have woken up, when the weight of despair pressed down like an unyielding storm, threatening to snuff out your light. There were crossroads where one wrong step would have ended everything, paths that forked into oblivion, yet your feet found the way home. There were emotional wounds that should have made you bitter forever, betrayals that cut deep, losses that echoed like thunder in your chest. Yet here you are, still capable of love, still searching for meaning, still hoping even when hope embarrassed you, blushing in the face of repeated disappointment. That is the blood speaking, my dear one. It refuses to let you give up because it carries more than your personal story. It carries assignment, a divine mandate etched into every cell, every pulse. Your blood is no ordinary river, it is a torrent of purpose, flowing from the heart of the Creator Himself. Think of it like the Nile, ancient and relentless, carving canyons through stone over millennia. Yours has carved resilience through your trials. You have asked yourself many times, why me? Why the weight that sits heavy on your shoulders like an unseen yoke? Why the waiting, those endless seasons where promises linger just out of reach? Why the constant sense that something more is expected of you, a whisper in your spirit that demands greatness even as you feel small? Hear this gently, my child, because you can carry it. Heaven does not place heavy oil, precious anointing oil, fragrant with destiny, in fragile vessels. Your vessel has been fired in the kiln of adversity, tempered to hold the weight of glory without shattering. What feels like pressure is actually preparation, a sculptor's hand chiseling away the excess to reveal the masterpiece beneath. What feels like delay is alignment, stars shifting into perfect constellation for your launch. You have been forming on the inside while others were performing on the outside, flashing lights and applause masking their hollow cores. They chased spotlights, you gathered substance in the silence. And when the time comes, and it is closer than you think, nearer than the breath in your lungs, what emerges from you will not need permission. It will be recognized by resonance, a frequency that vibrates in the souls it touches. People will know you before they understand you. Your presence will stir things they thought were asleep forever, dreams long dormant, passions buried under years of routine. I see it already, child, the ripple you will send through the world, awakening what heaven has planted. I know you have doubted yourself, replayed those conversations in the midnight hours, wondering if you should have spoken differently, acted bolder, been stronger or quieter, more like them to fit their mold. But you were never meant to be like them. You are a singular creation, handcrafted for a unique role in the grand tapestry. Comparison has been one of the greatest thieves of your peace, sneaking in like a shadow to steal your joy, but even that has taught you discernment, the sharp eye to separate wheat from chaff. You now see clearly who is aligned with your spirit, those rare souls who walk in step with your rhythm, and who is only curious about your energy, drawn like moths to your flame but unworthy of its warmth. You are learning to protect what flows inside you. Not everyone deserves access to your veins. Not everyone is safe around sacred blood. Picture your heart as a holy sanctuary, veins as glowing conduits of light. Some approach with pure intent, invited to draw near. Others come with hidden daggers, seeking only to drain. Your spirit reacts quickly to dishonesty, a flinch, a chill down your spine, because it is attuned to truth. Your body feels unrest when something is off, even if logic scrambles to explain it, a knot in your gut like an early warning from the divine radar. Your intuition is not imagination, it is intelligence, a sixth sense honed by angelic oversight. You are wired to sense before you see, to know before you are told. That ability has kept you safe more times than you realize, dodging pitfalls, evading traps laid by the careless or the cunning. Trust it, my child. Do not apologize for it. The world may call it sensitivity, overreacting to shadows, but heaven calls it discernment, the gift of the seer. Let me remind you of specific moments I've guarded. Remember that drive home in the pouring rain, when exhaustion blurred your vision and sleep tugged at your eyelids? Your intuition screamed pull over, and you did, just as the road ahead flooded unseen. Or that friendship that soured, where your spirit recoiled at their words, hidden barbs wrapped in smiles, you walked away before the poison spread. These were not accidents, they were my whispers through your blood. Lean into this gift now, as you enter a season where what has been hidden in you will begin to speak louder than what has been taken from you. Loss will no longer be your identity, that heavy cloak you wore too long. Pain will no longer be your introduction, the first words on your lips in every room. You will not always have to explain yourself, justifying your scars to skeptics. Vindication does not always come with an apology, a bowed head and regretful words. Sometimes it comes with elevation so clear that explanations become unnecessary, like a rocket-breaking atmosphere, leaving doubters gazing upward in awe. Those who doubted you, who whispered she's too much or he's not ready, will not need convincing. Time will do the talking, unfolding your story in chapters too magnificent to deny. I have seen the blueprints, child, your ascent is scripted in eternity. Understand this deeply, your worth was never measured by how others treated you, their neglect, their praise, their fleeting affections. It was never defined by who stayed or who left, those temporary travelers on your path. It was never determined by your productivity, those checklists ticked or missed, or your perfection, an illusion no human attains. Your worth was established the moment your blood was chosen to carry light into dark places. In the council of heaven, before your first cry pierced the air, you were selected. This one, the Father declared. This vessel will bear my light where shadows reign. You have always been enough. The process was never about making you valuable, it was about making you ready, polishing the diamond until it blazes. Look ahead with me to the days unfolding. There will be mornings where strength rises in you without effort, a wellspring bubbling up from within, effortless as dawn. You will speak with clarity where you once hesitated, words flowing like rivers of living water, cutting through confusion. You will rest without guilt, sinking into peace like a child in a mother's arms, knowing provision follows obedience. You will say no without fear, your voice steady, boundaries drawn not in anger but in wisdom. This is not hardness, a shell hardening against the world, it is maturity, the fruit of trials ripened. You are learning the difference between love and self-betrayal, love that gives freely but wisely, never at the expense of your soul. Boundaries are not walls, cold and impenetrable, they are gates, elegant arches admitting the worthy while turning away the storm. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is stewardship, sacred duty to the treasure within. Imagine yourself as a lighthouse keeper, tending the flame that guides ships through fog. You do not fling open the doors to every wanderer, you fuel the light, shielding it from gales. So too with you, steward the sacred blood, the assignment pulsing in your veins. Do not be afraid of becoming who you are becoming. You are not losing your softness, that tender heart that weeps with the broken, you are anchoring it in truth, roots delving deep into rock. You are not changing into someone unrecognizable, a stranger in your own skin, you are returning to yourself, shedding the masks life forced upon you. The child you once were, the one who dreamed freely under starlit skies, trusted deeply without the scars of betrayal, felt everything with unfiltered wonder, that child is not gone. They are being healed, not erased, wounds salved by heavenly balm. Picture a garden overgrown with weeds, thorns snagging the innocent blooms. I have been the gardener, pulling roots, pruning dead branches, watering with tears turned to dew. As that healing completes its work, you will notice something beautiful, your joy will no longer be fragile, a delicate glass ornament shattered by the slightest bump. It will be rooted, an ancient oak weathering tempests, branches reaching for heaven. Your veins carry blood beyond anyone's imagination because they carry testimony, stories of survival etched in crimson, ready to testify to the lost. They carry resilience, forged in fires that would consume lesser souls, bending but never breaking. They carry light, piercing the darkest nights, illuminating paths for the weary. They carry songs that have not yet been sung, melodies of victory rising from your throat in due season, harmonies that heal nations. They carry words that will arrive exactly when they are needed, arrows of truth loosed from your lips, finding their mark unerringly. Let me linger here with you a moment longer, speaking directly to that sacred river coursing through your veins. This blood is no ordinary stream, it carries the echo of ancient promises, the very signature of divine election. It is the same lineage that pulsed in the hearts of those who walked faithfully before you, David, the shepherd boy whose hands once cradled a sling yet whose spirit already held a crown. Picture him in the quiet fields, sheep grazing under starlight, while lions roared in the distance. His blood sang psalms even then, melodies that would one day drown out the taunts of giants. He was not born royal, he was anointed in obscurity, and that same anointing stirs now in you, waiting for the moment when the unseen becomes seen. Then there is Esther, the orphan girl carried into a palace not by merit but by mysterious favor. Her life seemed fragile, a thread in a vast tapestry of empires, yet when the hour came, her veins surged with purpose, for such a time as this. She stood before a king, trembling yet resolute, and in that trembling the deliverance of a nation hung suspended. Your blood remembers her courage, it remembers how vulnerability became victory, how a hidden identity became the hinge of history. And Mary, oh, sweet Mary, the young woman who received the impossible with open hands. No fanfare, no pedigree, only a quiet yes that invited eternity to dwell within her. Her blood mingled with the divine, becoming the conduit through which heaven kissed earth. In her womb the Word took on flesh, and through that same covenant lineage your own life was purchased, not with perishable things like silver or gold, but with the precious blood of the Lamb, speaking better things than the blood of Abel. Where Abel's cried out for justice and vengeance, yours cries redemption, belonging, intimacy. You are mine, and I am yours. Every heartbeat is a declaration of that unbreakable union. You may have felt the ache of delay, the whisper that time has slipped away, that others have already crossed the finish line while you linger at the starting block. But hear this clearly, you are not late. The train you fear has departed has not left without you, it was never scheduled on human clocks. Heaven operates in kairos, not chronos, appointed moments that arrive precisely when the heart is ready to receive them. You are not scrambling to catch up, you are being carefully positioned. Others may appear ahead, their paths lit with visible success, yet their races were not yours to run. Your course is custom carved, marked by seasons of hidden preparation that will soon burst into view. You are not behind, trailing dust kicked up by swifter feet. You are unfolding, petal by petal, like a rose that has waited through the long winter for the touch of eternal spring. Each layer reveals more beauty, more fragrance, more evidence of careful tending by the gardener's hand. Heaven stands very close now, so close that if you pause, you might feel the brush of angelic wings against your shoulder, a gentle reassurance that you are watched, delighted in, celebrated. The Father's gaze rests upon you not with impatience but with joy, the kind that spills over when a beloved child finally begins to lift their eyes and see themselves as they have always been seen, chosen from before the foundation, cherished beyond measure, capable of exploits that will echo into eternity. Let us walk together through those darker corridors you still remember too vividly, the nights when sleep refused to come, when grief coiled around your chest like iron chains, making every breath a labored effort. The soul's winter is merciless, it strips away pretense and leaves only raw ache. Despair prowled close then, its voice low and insistent, murmuring that this pain was final, that dawn would never break again. Yet something deeper rebelled within you. Your blood, that covenant blood, rose up like a tide, carrying the promise sealed long ago, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. I stood as sentinel in those hours, turning back the arrows of hopelessness one by one. You may not have seen the battle, but you felt its outcome, the slow return of breath, the faint warmth creeping back into numb limbs, the first fragile thought that perhaps tomorrow could hold light. Or consider the crossroads you faced, moments when two paths diverged sharply. One promised security, a steady paycheck, predictable hours, the approval of voices that value safety above all. The other called quietly, insistently, toward the unknown where your true assignment waited. Logic screamed caution, fear painted vivid pictures of failure. Yet your spirit stirred with unease at the safe choice, a holy disquiet that would not be silenced. You turned toward the narrow way, and though the ground felt unsteady beneath your feet, provision arrived in forms no spreadsheet could predict, doors swinging open unexpectedly, resources appearing as if summoned from thin air, strength supplied for each new step. Those decisions were not accidents, they were dress rehearsals, practice runs for the greater production now taking shape on the stage of your life. Your wounds, those deep emotional gashes, deserve their own reverent telling. Betrayal from someone whose loyalty you never questioned, it arrived like a blade in the dark, twisting in places no one else could see. The pain was intended to poison trust forever, to lock your heart behind walls too high to scale. Yet grace intervened. Slowly, painfully, love returned, not the naive version of before, but something wiser, more discerning, rooted deeper because it had been tested in fire. Rejection followed its own brutal script, doors slamming with thunderous finality, voices declaring you unfit, unnecessary, invisible. It should have silenced you, shrunk your voice to a whisper. Instead, the very sting became fuel, the closed doors forced you to speak truth with greater clarity, amplified by the authority of one who has survived the silence. Heaven is the master alchemist. Every tear you shed was collected, every fracture examined, every scar mapped. What the enemy meant for destruction, the Father repurposed for gold. Pain did not have the final word, it became the raw material for strength, empathy, authority. You carry now what you could not have carried then, compassion forged in suffering, insight born of brokenness, resilience that refuses to bow. And that persistent question, why me? Let me draw back the veil and show you the scene that preceded your first breath. Before time was wound tight, in a throne room ablaze with light no mortal eye can bear, your name was spoken with tender purpose. The blueprint of your life unrolled across the council table. The Father pointed to certain lines and said, "This one for the artist still lost in shadows, this blood to awaken dreamers who have forgotten how to dream." Angels inclined their heads in agreement. I stepped forward, volunteering to walk beside you through every shadowed valley. The weight you sometimes feel pressing on your shoulders. It is not punishment, it is oil, pressed from olives in the Garden of Gethsemane, meant to keep your lamp burning brightly even when famine covers the land. The waiting that has stretched so long. It has been the quiet weaving of threads, alliances formed in secret, people positioned at exact coordinates, resources stored up for the appointed hour. More is expected of you because more has been invested in you. Realms beyond the visible await your activation, spiritual territories that will shift as you step fully into who you have always been. Doubts still replay like old recordings, that heated argument where silence felt like weakness, words spilling out clumsy and inadequate. Yet in that vulnerability your authenticity pierced through, planting seeds that will bear fruit long after the words are forgotten. Comparison tried to steal your joy, parading others' highlight reels before your tired eyes. But even that thief served a purpose. It sharpened your vision, revealing who truly walks with you as steel sharpened by steel, and who was merely alloy, beautiful from a distance but lacking substance up close. Guard this sacred bloodline fiercely. Picture your inner world as a vault, its key resting in the palm of your hand alone. Share generously with those aligned in spirit, but bar the door against energy vampires who drain without replenishing. Your intuition has already proven itself trustworthy time and again. The uneasy feeling at that gathering that steered you away from entanglement, the sudden nudge to reach out to a stranger that ignited a chain of divine appointments. The world may mock sensitivity, labeling it fragility, but heaven crowns it with the title seer. Nurture this gift in the quiet places, prayer that listens as much as it speaks, silence that allows the still small voice to rise, scripture that becomes living conversation rather than distant text. There my whisper grows clearest, my guidance most precise. The season now breaking upon you is one of eruption. Hidden gifts, long buried under layers of survival, will rise suddenly, prophetic words flowing from your lips with startling accuracy, hands that carry healing virtue almost without conscious effort. Old losses will fade into soft echoes, pain will bow low before emerging glory. Vindication is coming in ways that will confound explanation, promotions arriving through unlikely channels, recognition blooming organically from seeds you scarcely remember planting. Those who doubted, who dismissed, who mocked, they will stand with jaws slack, witnessing what God has wrought. Your worth is not something you earn, it is bestowed, irrevocable, rooted in the same choosing that marked Israel's firstborn for deliverance. You have always been enough, not because of performance, but because of placement. The process was never punishment, it was preparation. Trials tutored you, teaching you to stand when everything shook, to trust when sight failed, to love when love cost everything. In the days ahead, strength will feel effortless, like an eagle catching thermal currents, soaring without striving. Clarity will sharpen to prophetic edge, cutting through confusion like a blade. Rest will descend Sabbath deep, a profound peace that no storm can disturb. You will wield no as a holy boundary, empowering rather than diminishing. Maturity will distinguish you, love that lifts without enabling, boundaries that steward rather than isolate. Do not fear the transformation unfolding within. The softness returning is not weakness, it is steel wrapped in velvet, tender yet unbreakable. You are becoming again the wonder child you once were, but now healed, whole, unafraid to marvel. Joy will root itself oak strong, unshakable. This blood carries cargo of eternal weight, a testimony that will inspire generations, resilience that rallies unseen armies, light that banishes pockets of darkness, songs that rise like symphonies before the throne, words that strike as timely swords in spiritual battles. You are unfolding perfectly, right on schedule. We, the hosts of heaven, the Father who dreamed you, the Spirit who breathes through you, I who walk beside you, we cheer with uncontainable joy. Rest now, beloved child. Let peace settle over you like a blanket woven from starlight. Rise soon, for the dawn you have waited for is already touching the horizon, and your moment is here.